I want to start out talking about AMVET's Post 5 and our mission statement. When we started this project, we didn't have a clue. We had a bunch of guys that wanted to make a difference, but we didn't know how. The first thing we did is we needed a mission statement. What is it? What do we want to do? And this is our mission statement: to promote awareness about the contributions and sacrifices made by the Mexican-American veterans and their families, to recognize the Mexican-American communities in Minnesota, to share with pride the achievements of the Mexican Americans who continue to answer the call in time of war and peace. Now, the last one was the most important one, and that is to memorialize the Mexican Americans who defended the freedoms of our country. Now we needed something permanent to put that on. We wanted to tell our story, and so the journey began to the Plaza de Honor. We could not have done it without some very important partnerships and commitments. And I would like to start out by introducing one of our West Side boys, and he's a man now, who became mayor of Saint Paul. And with that, the Honorable Chris Coleman.
Thank you so much. What a glorious evening. A little warm for you smart ones that are in the shade. Congratulations. For all of you in the sun, we should make this a little quick so you don't die out there. But what a glorious, glorious night to gather here on the banks of the Mississippi River, one of the most important places in the city, the most important rivers in the world, to truly pay honor and tribute to those that are deserving of such tribute. The only thing I would say is "si se puede" is a great phrase, but my Spanish is not good enough to tell you what the phrase should be is "yes, you did." We didn't, yes, we can, but we accomplished this goal with the help of so many people in this audience, with so many people that have been there, whether it's Councilmember Thune and his leadership, members of our Parks and Rec Department, and of course Post 5 for their dedication to take this process all the way through difficult times and challenges, to say, you know, we don't want just any memorial, we don't want just any plaque, we just don't want to be recognized anywhere, but we want to be at the heart and soul of the place where people in the city of St. Paul gather. And when you think about this place, that truly is, this is the gathering spot for St. Paul. It has historically been the case when people used to come down to swim in the river when you could still do so, or the old bathhouses, or when people just came down here on a hot summer night to relax and cool down a little bit, or the 25,000 people that came on Saturday night, or another 25,000 people that came on Sunday night just a few weeks ago for great concerts here on Harriet Island. This is the gathering spot of our community. And so it could be, it is totally fitting that we have this memorial here, so that as we continue to gather, we also don't forget. Don't forget the service and the sacrifice of the men and women that gave so much to their country, to their community. All gave some gave all. And we should never forget that. Memorial Day shouldn't be a day. Memorial Day should be a permanent state of mind where we always honor and remember the spirit and the fight and the commitment of those that took up arms, that risked their lives, that fought so hard for this country, that served their country so honorably, so proud, and so well. I am so grateful to all of you that kept this vision alive, that made this a possibility, made this a reality. Thank you for your dedication, your determination. Si se puede is true, but yes, we did is a better phrase even than si se puede. Thank you very much.
Well, it hasn't been a long time, but it was worth it. This truly is a place of honor, and it's so appropriate, as the mayor said, to be in the heart of the West Side community. We're talking about honoring men, women, and their families who left home, often as groups, friends that have grown up together and went off to war. that is something that I guess still remains true on the West Side. It's a community of which that neighborhood means something deeper than just a place of geography. The West Side is just one of those places where families stay together, where families go off to do their service in the military together and to work for peace as well. And to put it here where the Castillos used to have softball games on the 4th of July, where neighborhood kids would come down and mess around in the water. This is truly a great place to put this, and I just want to thank everybody that's been involved. Bob Bierscheid, who was the previous Parks and Rec Director, Mike Hom, the current Parks and Rec Director, all the staff, the mayor, the people of the city, but most importantly, it was all of you, and all of you here that kept this dream alive, and boy, it is a beaut. It's very touching to be here. So thank you very much for your patience, thank you very much for your support and your hard work, and thank you very much for all of your commitment. Thanks.
Well, thank you for having me here, and on behalf of Governor Dayton, congratulations on an accomplishment of a major mission. For the last year and a half, I've been going around the state of Minnesota, and I've been amazed and surprised at the number of veterans memorials that are being put up. And they oftentimes start with World War I and work its through to identify all the way up to the current conflict. This is different. This is special. And what I want all of you to do is accept the following mission. This is not an end point. This is the starting point, because now you have something physical, tangible, visual, that you can take your grandchildren, children, and you can explain to them why this monument is so significant and so important. You have a new mission. This year marks the 237th anniversary of the United States Army, so I did a little research on the Latino community within the United States Army and came up with the following facts. And one of the facts is it goes way, way beyond or before that. And one of the debates that still is continuing, which was discovered first, Florida or Puerto Rico. So we'll leave it at that. So what they said was the first major involvement of the Latino community was in 1812. So when your grandchildren are listening to the song about, I think it was Johnny Horton, in New Orleans, and General Jackson, I just want you to know that there were the Hispanics as a major component in the defense of New Orleans. You were there. Today, in our military, there are 56,707 Latinos serving in the United States Army. That represents 12% of our entire force. Also, you have 40 Medal of Honor winners in your ranks. In 1812 to 1815, in the War of 1812, we talk about General Jackson and the defense of New Orleans. In the Civil War, you probably heard of Admiral David Farragut, one of you, who defended Mobile Bay in Alabama, Admiral, and he held off the British attacks. Also, Civil War, Joseph de Castro, first Latino to be awarded the Medal of Honor. Where did he earn that medal? At Pickett's Charge. He was there. So as you see the connection of the history books, you were there. World War I, 200,000 of you were there, over there, to include Nicolas de Serio, who was given the Cross de Guerre, France's Medal of Honor, if you will, for single-handedly destroying 2 German machine gun nests and engaging the enemy 3 hours. Also, World War II, Douglas MacArthur said of the Arizona National Guard that they were the finest infantry combat team ever to be deployed in battle.
You were there. Korean War, 150,000, and you were there. Vietnam, 80,000, served with distinction, to include Corporal Rodolfo Hernandez, who received posthumously the Medal of Honor, having charged the enemy with only a rifle and bayonet, killing 6 before being mortally wounded, but giving his comrades enough time to counterattack and retake the position. The Persian Gulf, 20,000 of you were there in Desert Storm, Desert Shield. And now with Iraq and Afghanistan, 53,000 of you were there on active duty in that war, to include Sergeant First Class Leroy Petrie, who with the 75th Ranger Battalion had a grenade thrown in their position. He picked it up, and as he threw it, he lived through the fact that he lost his hand, but he saved all of his comrades' lives. So that's the mission I want all of you, when you look at this beautiful facility, this beautiful monument, the roots are far deeper than just the rock and the flags. It has a legacy, it has a history, and as we say to all, for our veterans, we must never forget, and for those that come home, we want to make sure that they come all the way home. Thank you.
I just wanted to add a little bit to that, and that is the purpose of the memorial is not to forget. However, we Americans seem to have a short memory. We look back and discover what our great parents, grandparents, fathers, mothers went through to get here. The fears, the sacrifice, the many heartbreaks to get here with little more than hope. Many have fought to give us what most of us, what most other countries do not have, and that is life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. This memorial is also about the Mexican community that has grown and keeps saying, yes, we can, and we did it. We sent and keep sending our sons and daughters to war so we can have our freedom. Their families also suffered and sacrificed and paid the price, as all American families have. What we ask is equal recognition, and someday without labels. Thank you.